Hello.
Then. Now.
Countdown to the queens.
Episode number 500.
Forever.
Looks like hell froze over.
Without any more further ado,
Together.
let's jump straight into the show. Hello, and welcome to episode number 30 of the TEW IX Challenge. How are we already at 30 episodes on this game? Like, it's weird. Anyway, we're here for ECW. You know, we've got our normal ECW logo back. We're officially out of the extremely cool wrestling era, for better or for worse, or for ironically better or unironically worse. Anyway, tonight is the start of the Women's Championship tournament, where the entire women's roster, there are 16 women on ECW, I believe. Like, I think Blair Davenport didn't put her on screen last week, but she's obviously still here as well. So, yeah, I think there are exactly 16 women on ECW that I wanted in the tournament. I think maybe BFAB or someone didn't get in, who I don't know. She probably would not be in a follow of Moose, to be honest. But anyway, on top of that, we've also got our blockbuster six-man tag team main event as the Paragons, Adam Cole, Dolph Ziggler, and Cesaro face off with Joman and Jey Uso. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. The show kicks off with, of all people, Austin Theory. He comes to the ring. Obviously, he was in the main event last week. The Wyatt Six debuted in ring. It was Eric Rowan, Kip Sabian, and Preston Vance against Kurt Hawkins, Matt Cardona, and Austin Theory. Theory walked out and bailed on his team. So, you know, he opens up ECW. Trust me, we're out of the Russo era, but Theory's still opening up the show. And he goes, you know, over the last week, I've heard a lot of slander on the name of Austin Theory. A bunch of bitch asses who's never even had the balls to step into a wrestling ring are calling me a coward. They're saying I'm scared of the Wyatt 7. That's not true. I'm not scared of the Wyatt 7. Why I walked out last week, well, quite frankly, you don't need to know, but if you must, it was because I couldn't stand teaming with Kurt Hawkins and Matt Cardona. Those guys are losers. And with Russo out of the picture, it's time for Austin Theory the Now to prove himself that he is A-Town down. He can stand on his own 2 feet. And he's not a hand-picked next-generation world champion. He is the finished article, everything that I said I am when I came back all those months ago. They're certainly not scared of Bo Dallas in a spooky mask, okay? Because I'm better than Bo Dallas ever was. Now, Adam Cole, if you're back there, which I know you are because you got a main event tonight, you listen to these words. You better keep a hold of that ECW World Championship and hold it tight, because when Austin Theory's coming, I'm coming to take it. Then the lights go out. And obviously Theory's facial expression changes. He's a big tough guy, you see. He's not scared at all, but he does, flinch. And you can see the concern on his face. He's pulling... I have an actual frame of reference here. It was the Raw after Vince left in real life, and he came out to confront Roman, and Roman said, your daddy's not here anymore. And Theory was looking in the ring just like a sad little puppy. He's pulling that face. And just Uncle Howdy and Susie walk out onto the ramp. Oh no, Uncle Howdy stops on the ramp even. And Susie goes all the way down to ringside. Not into the ring, she just stops at the apron. And Theory, of course, is still pulling that sad, terrified little puppy face. And she just puts a letter on the apron. And then she turns around and walks away. And her and Uncle Howdy leave through the smoke. And then Theory, of course, once they've left and the lights are back on, he immediately shifts out of that terrified look and he puts on his big tough guy face again. See, I scared them off. I told you Bo Dallas was afraid of me. And he walks over and he grabs the piece of paper. And he opens it up. And his face goes pale. And his eyes start bugging out of his head. And he just sort of folds the paper up, puts it in his pocket, and just walks to the back. So something's spooked Theory. And then cut backstage. Kelly Kincaid is with Warden. So like my guest at this time, Warden. Just Warden over the past few months, obviously your issue with the plotline have taken it to a new level, which was why last week you came back here and you assaulted Jimmy Uso. Can I get your thoughts on that? And Warden goes, Jimmy Uso over the last couple of weeks since he's come back here has been a very conflicted individual, Kelly. You see, there was a time when I respected Jimmy Uso, and that was around about WrestleMania this year when he had the balls to stick up to both his toxic twin brother and his toxic older cousin, that so-called tribal chief. But now, Jimmy's a whiny little baby trying to crawl back to daddy. Jimmy, I'm doing you a favor, man. I'm reminding you of what happens if you get back in that family. Bad things happen. I'm just a messenger. This time it was me. You go back to your family. Next time it'll be Roman Reigns again. It'll be Jay. It'll be anybody else. Now as for the tribal chief, I hear he's not here tonight, Kelly. Isn't that convenient? But you know who is here tonight? Jay. I hear Jay's in our main event tonight. I hear Jay's looking to get his hands on that ECW championship again. We'll see. And Warden walks off. 87 rated opening match. It's so good. ZSJ didn't really fit into the Russo era. Like, he wasn't one of the Rebels, because I still had him, like, leaning tweener-ish. But, so he didn't really fit on Extremely Cool Wrestling, so, like, he didn't really do much since Mania, or since, whenever he lost to Kyle O'Reilly in that rematch. But he's back now. He's, like, the definitive this style of ECW wrestler, and he's scoring 97s, so yeah, it's good to have him back, to say the least. He beats Ashanti the Adonis, the God Adonis Truth. He submits him with Hurrah and Xavier, that long name. 97 for ZSJ, 84 for Ashanti the Adonis. And yeah, so pretty good from Ashanti as well. After the match, ZSJ's in the ring, he's celebrating. The Grizzled Young Vets are with him. When Mustafa Ali walks out, he goes, Zachary. Out of all the people who I need to get my revenge on, your name was the one on the list who excited me the most. You see, Zachary, I've been a fan of yours for a long time, even before you came here to WWE, back in the Cruiserweight Classic together. I've always wondered what would happen if Mustafa Ali and ZSJ wrestled one-on-one once again. I need to double check they did wrestle in the Cruiserweight Classic. Anyway, but we're much different people right now, and you can see I'm trying my best to take ECW and become the greatest leader in ECW. But you're standing in my way. You're cutting these weird-ass speeches about how the rulers of your country, what they do is none of my business, okay? Because I'm a fair and giving leader. And Zachary, I gave you the chance to be fair and willing, but you appear to be rebelling against my will. And that goes, listen here, dickhead. You're right, I do respect you. We do go back a long way, and it would be great to wrestle Mustafa Ali in this ring once again, but listen here. Not this version of Mustafa Ali. This is some condescending wannabe politician who used to be a cop. Okay? I don't deal with people like you. The system don't tell me what to do, we tell the system what to do. And if you want to become the system, you got to go through me. Because I've got a hell of a lot of experience tearing the system down. And Mustafa Ali goes, I see you're not budging. Zachary, in another world, we could have been partners. But in this one, I guess you're a target. Great match tonight, Zachary. I'm sure I'll be seeing you down the line. And then Ali leaves. So yeah, a thinly veiled threat by Mustafa Ali towards ESJ. And yeah. Karrion Kross is backstage. He's reminiscing on last week's promo where he said something about the sin. I can't remember what he said exactly. Something about the one sin. And he goes, Kirk, sorry. Moose. Here we are again. You and your wrath. You couldn't just, even in the afterlife, you held this grudge against me. You felt that I'd done you dirty in your other life. So you let your wrath get the better of you. And you beat me at SummerSlam. But I won. You see, I won because that wrath proved that if that comes to the forefront, you can be unstoppable, Moose. This version of you that tries to be the saint, that's not going to get you anywhere. It's the real sinners, like me, like you were before, that can get stuff done around here. So congratulations, Moose. Your wrath paid off well, but I've still got 6 other sins in my back pocket. 'Cause I'm the master of all sins. So allow me to introduce you to my 7 Deadly Sins series. And next week, let's see if your lust can be your savior. Next week, you and I in a hardcore match. Yeah. Karrion Kross dubs what is going to be known as the 7 Deadly Sins series, where, you know, it was initially just going to be a fancy name for a best of 7. But you know I don't do that. You know there's more going on here, and you can probably tell by how enthralled I am of a Karrion Kross promo right now that this is some fire-ass writing. You know, this is a hoot. This storyline's going to carry ECW for the next 2 months. So yeah, you know, we had our first match, which was Moose versus Karrion Kross at SummerSlam 1, which was the Wrath, because, you know, Moose was, when he was Carcass, he was killed off by the D'Angelo family under the watch of Karrion Kross, so he resurrected, and from beyond the grave wanted to get his revenge on Karrion, so that was his wrath. But now it's his lust, and, you know, there's no real love between these two, so we've got to do their lust for vengeance. And it'll be a hardcore match next week. Karrion Kross and Moose, 1-on-1. Florence, she just comes down because, you know, we've had our opening match. Our main event is the 6-man tag. And every other match tonight is in the Women's Championship tournament. So Florence comes down and she just takes a seat on commentary. And she's going to be there for the next, you know, tournament matches because they concern her and her belt. The first tournament match gets an 80. Sure. It's Alba Fire against Chelsea Green. And of course, Alba Fire does pick up the win in 8:44 with a gory bomb. 79 for Alba, 66 for Chelsea. So yeah, this tournament is going to be really interesting. Because, obviously I've booked the tournament results in the way that I want to book the tournament results in. You know, the story at the end of the tournament will be the story I want to tell through the tournament. This is more so for a long-term perspective. Like, there's definitely, like, without getting too deep into the weeds, like, for example, there's a spot at WrestleMania open that needs filling in my notes right now. So, you know, if you perform really well in this, that could be your spot. So this really is, again, like, I obviously know where it's going in the short term, but long term, this will have ramifications. If you perform really well in this, you know, you're open to climb the ranks on ECW's very, very thin women's division. So yeah, Alba Fire gets a 79, a 66 for Chelsea. That's actually pretty good for Chelsea because she's not super over, and that's also very good for Alba, who had a bit of a mini push earlier this year, and, you know, right about the time I clashed the castle, then sort of fell off when she lost. So maybe this is her ticket back to the top. Then see Kyle O'Reilly and Kevin Owens backstage. You know, Kyle sitting there with his TV title, and Kevin Owens walks up to him. Goes, Kyle, you know, just wanted to get your thoughts on this upcoming championship scramble, you know. Who'd have thought that us 5, out of what we did, you know, getting rewarded with a championship match at High Voltage. Kyle goes, yeah, you know, it's not really a reward for me. Yeah, here's your reward, Kyle. Thanks for all your hard work you put in to try and save this brand. Here, come and defend your championship against your 4 friends in a 5-way match. You've only got a 20% chance of keeping your belt. Yeah, that's a great reward, Paul, thanks. And KO just laughs and goes, hey, you know, I'll see you out there. And Kyle goes, sure, yeah. And they shake hands. So yeah, scramble match for the TV title is set for High Vault. I regret announcing it so soon, but like in my head, I don't know how I'd fill TV before getting there, like immediately following SummerSlam. But because like we are still like, I think fucking High Voltage is on the 19th of October. We're currently on the 27th of August. So like yeah, we might have announced it a little bit too soon, but I'm sure I'll find ways to fill time. We then see Heyman. He's in his office when the door knocks. He goes, "Come in." And the door doesn't open and nobody comes in. He goes, "I said come in." And he gets up, he opens the door. It's Solo and the Tongans. And they sort of just get in Heyman's face. Solo goes, "Congratulations, wise man. You sure did get the jump on us at SummerSlam. But you know, I've been asking around here and people are saying that your tribal chief, he ain't here tonight. But I am. The real tribal chief is here tonight. And here's what I wanted you to do, Heyman. Before you came back, we were on the rise at the top here on ECW, and I don't want you having any bias in favor against us. So here's what you're going to do, you know, you got this fancy little championship scramble match. You got set for High Voltage. That ain't going to happen because I want my rematch for that championship that I never got. And Tama and Tonga, they've been long overdue for a shot at those tag team championships. Now don't get on our bad side, Paul, because you know what we can do firsthand. We did it to your boy, Roman Reigns. And him goes, "You never put a finger on my tribal chief. In fact, last week, my tribal chief whipped your ass." And Solo goes, "Weird. Do you see your tribal chief here tonight?" "Didn't think so." And he walks off. And then Tama Tonga's like, yeah. And then he walks off as well. And Tonga Loa, you know, walks into a wardrobe before leaving. Backstage segment, quick one. Liv Morgan approaches Sonya Deville. You know, Sonya's shadow boxing in Gorilla. And Liv goes, "Hey, so you got a big tough match against Kim McQueen tonight. You know, undefeated here on ECW. Her only loss was at Money in the Bank, which was technically a Raw match. So yeah, I guess he's still technically undefeated on ECW. So he goes, "Yeah, it's going to be a tough match." And Liv goes, "You know what, girl? Next week I've got Sasha. We're running that feud back, apparently. And, you know, she's going to have Indy in her corner. So I want you in my corner next week. So to make up for it, I'll be in your corner tonight." Sonya goes, "Yeah, sure." So Liv Morgan will accompany Sonya Deville for her match with Kim McQueen coming up next. 72. That's not too bad here. Considering, you know, Sonya's sort of plateaued at 70 after a good early start in the series, like 3 or 4 years ago. And then Kim McQueen is still gaining popularity. But she does pick up the win. 9 minutes and 17 with a spear. Kim McQueen pins Sonya Deville. Liv obviously was there, but didn't want to, you know, fuck about. Like, there was no reason for her to get involved because Kim had no one in her corner. Kim just won clean. That'd be disingenuous of Liv Morgan, you know. The greatest character in wrestling, so I wouldn't want to tarnish her. 62 for Kim, 70 for Sonya. Yeah, Kim McQueen advances, I believe to wrestle Alba Fire. I think that's how the bracket works. I will have to double check, but I believe it is going to be Kim and Alba in the next round, which will probably be in 3 weeks' time. Because we've got another 3 first-round matches next week, and there'll be the last 2 the week after. And yeah. So yeah, it'll be in 3 weeks' time, Kim versus Alba Fire. After the match, though, Liv Morgan checks on Sonya Deville when she's jumped by Sasha Banks and Indy Hartwell. Sasha and Indy, you know, they're jumping Sonya and Liv. Sasha trying to get the head up. She hits the Moneymaker on Liv Morgan. Continues to lay her out, and then she like sees Florence on commentary. She's like, "Hey, you see that, huh? That's what a real star does in this ring, okay? I'm gonna dog walk over Liv Morgan. That's like I'm gonna dog walk over every single other woman in this tournament." And then she backs into Kim. And Kim McQueen's just standing there with her hands on her hips, like looking down at Sasha, and Sasha like slowly turns her head around. She goes, "Of course, I mean other than you, Kim." And then Kim McQueen boots Sasha Banks down. And then Indy Hartwell obviously tries to attack her, but like sees Sasha gets booted down. Pauses, thinks better of it, slides under the ring. Because she has got a match next week against Blair Davenport, I want to say. So yeah, So she doesn't want to get hurt, but Sasha has taken a boot. Florence, of course, finds that hilarious. But yeah, Kim McQueen advances, basically. Let's see a quick backstage segment. Theory, he's still checking that letter. And he's panicking, and he bumps into Matt Cardona and Kurt Hawkins. I'm like, hey man, what's your problem, huh? Are you serious, bro? He goes, listen, I can explain. He goes, what can you explain, huh? You think we're liabilities? Okay? Well, have you even won a match since you've been back here in WWE? He goes, yeah, I beat... No, I know he has won a match, but, I can't remember. He beat somebody. Jimmy Uso, maybe? He goes, well, if you want to help fighting these Wild Six guys because you look like you're still in a bit of trouble, the way you ran your mouth about the indie god, the king of pro wrestling, the internet champion, I don't think you deserve our help. So he goes, fine, I don't need your help, huh? Screw off. I meant everything I said. And Hawkins goes, oh, you're going to regret that, Theory. You're going to regret that. Then they walk off, and Theory just sort of still there reading the paper. He goes, what is this? What does this even mean? $73 rated match. That's better than I thought it would be. This is the final of the matches tonight. Shantae Washington beats Iona Webb in 9:44 with a Fisherman Suplex. 65 for Shantae, 67 for Iona. And yeah, weird, Shantae Willow is scoring 65s, and I want to try to get her up because, she's good. So she gets the win here. And I think she faces the win. I just stop knocking this fucking headphones off the... Anyway, I think she faces... I think it's the winner of Sasha and Liv. No, it's not. It's the winner of Blair and Indy, I believe. Yes. Speaking of next week, it is match number 2 in the 7 Deadly Sins series. The first match was at SummerSlam when Moose picked up the victory over Karrion Kross, and this time they're running it back. This time at the Sin of Lust, where it is a lust for blood and vengeance in a hardcore match. Karrion Kross and Moose Part 2 next week. Plus, we have our 3 tournament matches set for next week. The first is Blair Davenport taking on Indy Hartwell, as we've spoken about a couple of times tonight. The other match is going to be Naomi taking on Jacy Jane of the Paragon. Of course, Naomi, the other half of Nightlight. So let's see if she can pick up the win and advance to the next round, and maybe meet her tag team partner in the final. Plus, Sasha Banks and Liv Morgan rekindle their rivalry. Let's see who can advance in that match. Sasha considers herself the favourite. Is she? We'll have to wait and find out. Plus, the tribal chief, the original tribal chief, the one true chief, Roman Reigns, is back on ECW next week. Plus, you have our first match officially set for High Voltage. It is that aforementioned Championship Scramble match, making its return. Kyle O'Reilly does have his back against the wall. His reward for helping ECW and Heyman get back in power is to defend his championship against 4 other men at High Voltage in 6-7 weeks. Yeah, it's Kevin Owens, Hook, Rey Mysterio, and Sheamus, all set to challenge Kyle O'Reilly for the gold at High Voltage. Before the main event, Adam Cole and the Paragon come out. Because who's ready for story time of Adam Cole, baby? So, you all love this Joe Hendry guy. I've heard so much about him, and I'm not impressed, quite honestly. What happened to the days when the rising stars of this company used to be guys like me? Guys like Cesaro, guys like Dolph Ziggler. All these guys you looked at and went, these guys should be world champions who got gifted nothing. And now you play along and sing and dance to some Scottish goof and some twin half of a tag team who walks around saying outdated catchphrases. Adam Cole Bay is the champion here on ECW. I earned this. It's going to take a lot more than main event Jey Uso to take it from me. It's going to take a whole lot more than Joe Hendry to take it from me. Even Braun Strowman. Bring them all on. Because tonight, the Paragon rules supreme. 95 rated match. Joe Hendry has a 95 rated match the greatest match of his career. He didn't even score the worst. Dolph Ziggler is obviously apparently super washed in this game, which, I mean, true. I mean, have you seen Nick Nemeth recently? Anyway, yeah. Jey Uso and Joman do pick up the win here. Jey Uso pins the ECW champion Adam Cole in 1746. So, you know, I think he was already in line for a rematch, but hey, there's your shot, right? 82 for Braun, 80 for Joe Hendry, 90 for Jey Uso, 82 for Cesaro, 77 for Dolph Ziggler, and then 91 for Adam Cole. So yeah, big win for the Believe Yeet monsters. And yeah, they're celebrating, they're yeeting and waving their hands from side to side and all that to end the show when they're jumped by Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. Yeah, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa both take out Braun Strowman, and Solo's on Joe Hendry. You know, Solo spikes Joe Hendry, and then the Tongans hit their finisher on Braun, and they look at the ECW tag team titles, sort of pick him up and hold him, stare at him in their hands. When Solo stops, and he slowly turns his head around, and there, you know, stood in the other corner looking down at him is Jey Uso. And Solo slowly, like, walks up to Jey. And Jey gets in Solo's face. And Solo goes, "What you gonna do about it, Oos? Big brother? I haven't forgotten what happened at SummerSlam, huh? I had you beat before your bitch-ass cousin showed his face." And then it looks like Jey's about to throw down with Solo. He turns around and Wardon wipes him out. Wardon wipes him out with a big clothesline. You know, he rips his shirt off or whatever. Power bombs Jey Uso. Power bombs Jey Uso again. Power bombs him for a third time. And he sort of like looks across at Solo, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. And he sort of just nods his head in approval before he leaves. So yeah, Warden not finished with the bloodline, not by any stretch of the imagination. And you know, we may have our next challenger for the tag team championships, plus our next challenger for the world championship. A lot went down here in this segment and on this show, which scores us a 86. I'll take that. What matters more is what you thought of the show. Do let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for SmackDown, where we'll get the follow-up to whatever the hell we saw at the end of last week. See you then.